the clip of Joe.
I think he's better than he's ever been, intellectually, analytically, because he's been around for 50 years. I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. I think we have to ask the same questions of him
now
that we have asked of Donald Trump since 2016, and that is, if he were CEO and he turned in a performance like that, would any corporation in America, any Fortune 500 corporation in America, keep him on as CEO?
Why are they so mad, though? They supposed to be feeling sorry for him. He's an old, decrepit man. They're extremely upset. To me, y'all, I don't want you to look at what you see in front of you. I want you to look beyond that. Explain to me how this is a shock to anybody. I was on Piers Morgan's show, and I predicted this, and I'm not a genius. I mean, Stevie Wonder can see that Joe Biden was going to take a poo on the stage. The dude he stutters at all his speeches. He's falling up the stairs. He's sitting down when nobody else sitting down. He's roaming off somewhere. His wife got to hold his hand like he's a special needs kid. No, shout out to the special needs kids. Nothing against y'all. I love y'all. God has got a special place for special needs. I'm not trying to make fun of y'all. But he a grown man, and he's the president, and any resemblance of that is insane to me. All of these things, and they act like they're shocked. That man, Joe, said that this is the best he ever seen of Joe Biden. And a couple weeks later, or maybe a couple months later, he's saying that the man needs to step down. They are not, the media is a puppet show. This is not the independent thoughts of the media. Do not get this twisted. They set this up, or they got the memo. One of the two have happened or has happened. They either set it up because they want to find an excuse and create the narrative to get Biden out of there because they know he ain't going to win. They know he decrepit and he's old, and he's been embarrassing them the last 2 or 3 years. So they set him up to do a debate very earlier than any debate in presidential history, because they want to frame it to where if he take a pull on stage, which they know he would, that they have enough time to do damage control and replace him. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Biden don't end up dead somewhere, because they would love to have that sob story. And he would be the sacrificial lamb for the Democrat Party. They'd love to say, oh, poor Joe, he had dementia and he did the best that he could. And look at the MAGA Republicans talking bad about him, and they're making fun of a man who was struggling and who had dementia. They hate elderly people. They want to get rid of Medicare. I mean, this is what they're gonna say. And then they go usher in a snake oil salesman to try to give him the last hope. But I think they coordinated it, because as soon as it happened, guess who was in lockstep? Everybody in the media unanimously said he needs to step down. He needs to step down. They're slowly and methodically pushing propaganda. Gavin Newsom is probably going to replace him. Kamala Harris is going to still stay where she at, even with her knee pads. And they're going to try to frame it to where Gavin Newsom stuck behind Biden, and he only did it because he has to, because Biden is no longer with us. Or Biden has got dementia. And it just happened on the debate stage. We never saw this before. It just happened that night. He got a cold and it messed his brain up. And he became a bad president, everything, all in that night when he first started talking. But you have on record that the only two people that supporting him is Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom. The whole media is framing that he needs to step down. So they're going to try to act as if it's an act of God when the man croak or he is deemed to be cognitively dissonant. Maybe, just maybe, before the election, they'll let Kamala Harris become the interim president, making her the first black president, or first female black president. and then they're going to put that Negro to the side and put in the Great White Hope. And that's the snake oil salesman himself. I call him the lingerie man because we can see right through his stuff. We can see right through his lies. And they're going to put these people in place, and they're going to hope for the best. Donald Trump got so much momentum right now that the polls don't even illustrate. I could almost put my life on it that there are people who will vote for Trump, but they'll never tell anybody they'll vote for Trump. They would never fill out a poll with their name associated with it that said they'll vote for Trump, because they would get slaughtered in their friend group. And I tell you what, it's going to backfire. Now, I got a ton of clips that I want to play because I do want to give an opportunity to give somewhat of a recap. There's certain things we cannot play on the radio because they're going to get their socks sewed off. On the YouTube channel, maybe it's a little more, have a little more liberty. I want to play some of these clips of the Trump's debate and how he just destroyed him. I'll start with the clip 2, which is Biden freezing when he talks about taxes and Medicaid or Medicare. Clip 2.
That $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our health care system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if